are listening to episode 34 of the recurring Bosscast. I'm Jet from SplitKick.com. With me is Matt from Biff Bam Pop and the Screaming Ego.
What's going on?
Yeah, a little pregnant pause there, Matt.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, is he not there?
Did he just collapse? No?
It sounded good to me. Maybe it's lagging or something.
Oh, uh-oh. I hope not. And Jason from Inside Gaming Daily and Slick Gaming.
Hello.
So, I kind of went off on a giant rant about being mad at Street Fighter and so on and so forth. I hope you guys have better stories to tell.
I bought a puzzle.
Okay.
Whoa.
Completely not even
Slow
gaming
down.
related. I bought a puzzle. It's a 1980s puzzle, and it's basically like all 80s stuff, and it's a giant, wicked puzzle, and I haven't done a puzzle in years. And surprisingly, I really like doing puzzles.
Oh.
There's my random point for the day.
What compelled you to get a puzzle after all these years of not doing puzzles?
Well, actually, it was a Christmas gift for Liza.
Okay.
But yeah, we put it on. We have a big dining room table, so we put it out there, and there's a light there now, and it's kind of just sitting there. And every time we walk by it or whatever, put 5 or 10 minutes into it, and yeah, I haven't done a puzzle, like I said, in about 5 years, and it's a pretty cool experience.
Matt Langford and the Puzzling Adventure.
Yeah.
Steph actually got a puzzle for Christmas from her aunt. It's sitting on the dining table, still sealed, but maybe someday she will get around to it.
I gave a puzzle to someone for Christmas.
Oh?
So there you go. Hers is all candy wrappers.
Okay. Candy's delicious. I love candy.
But I'm sure this doesn't taste like candy.
No.
So.
It's just pictures of, I guess, the afterwards of just
Yes.
the sadness of there's no more candy.
Exactly. Remember when you were eating candy? Now you're working and not even getting candy. So Matt, when you're done, are you going to frame it?
Yeah, probably. Actually, we actually talked about it. I think we're going to frame it. It's going to be pretty big, though, on the wall.
Sweet.
Yeah. My parents have framed 4 or 5 puzzles. It's kind of like a thing in one of our rooms back home in Indiana. And to be honest, they look pretty cool. If you get some neat ones and you can theme your room, it's neat.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be the first puzzle I've framed, that's for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I solved a puzzle.
It's tough.
For sure. It's just find the corner pieces. All right, great. Now what?
Yeah, this puzzle's stupid.
That's what we did. We got the outside all the way around, and now we're kind of chipping away going inward. But yeah, it gets a lot tougher once you've got all the outside pieces done. You really think you're awesome when you get the outside going, but then once you try to start the inside, you realize you're just a mere mortal.
Yes, exactly. Well, how many pieces?
I don't even know. A lot. I think the puzzle's
box,
2.
A lot.
Yeah, it's I think 2 or 3 feet long.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's pretty good.
Jeez.
I have a feeling this is going to be a recurring thing for you, and you're just going to fill us in, the puzzle update in the next Bosscast.
Puzzle update. Hey guys, if you give me a second, something I think is wrong here because you guys are lagging pretty bad and everything's slowing down and then speeding up really fast. So I think I'm gonna go grab my power cable or my LAN cable or whatever, and I'm gonna plug it in here because I'm on Wi-Fi right now. So I think that might be the problem.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
All right. So in the meantime, I got sick for a little bit and I had a crazy asthma attack, but I've got puffers now, so I'm better. And
Puffers?
Puffers, yeah. I'm a lifelong asthmatic.
Wait, what are puffers?
Oh, they're,
You mean inhalers?
yes.
Oh. Is that a Canadian term?
I guess that's a Canadian thing. Who knew?
Yeah, I've not heard of that before.
Because they go puff.
I suppose that's true. I've never used an inhaler.
Yeah, I have a long history of using assorted asthma drugs, including inhalers and the weird gas mask thing. And I was on pills for a while. And I haven't needed it for a long time, but then I got sick and bad stuff happened, so I needed to get back on the drugs.
I feel like puffer is a bad word to use for
Inhaler?
American people.
Oh. Why
It
so?
might be linked to some other drug.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm just thinking out loud, really.
In more positive news, Steph and I celebrated our anniversary.
Hey guys, I'm back, and congratulations, chat.
Thank you. We did a bunch of things over our anniversary weekend to celebrate. The two cool things, we watched the Raptors destroy the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, they did indeed.
That was good. I was pretty disappointed in their performance in Boston, but in the grand scheme of things, we're looking a lot better than we did before. And we also went out to dinner at this place called Au Noir in Toronto, where the hook of it is that the dining room is actually pitch black.
I've heard of this place.
Yes. So you go in there, you order all your food in the light at the front, and they also have a surprise menu, so you can just say, surprise me with an appetizer, a dessert, and a main course. So you order all those things up front, and then the waiter takes you into the dining room, which is literally pitch black. I was trying to find light for when the doors would open and close. Nothing. And it was a really weird sensation, because I don't think I remember ever being in a room that dark in my life for that long.
Wow.
And my eyes at first were freaking out, like trying to see things, and then I would just see like weird rainbow patterns around, and it just didn't work. Eventually, what I saw with my eyes closed was the exact same thing as when my eyes were open.
Wow.
That's kind of frightening.
And then you have to try and eat food while you're in the dark.
Were you adventurous enough to order the surprise menu?
Yeah, seriously.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I would be either.
I'm a really picky eater. I can't do that. Steph
they could serve you anything. You would never know.
You'd never know. Steph got a surprise dessert, and she took one bite and said, "Oh, okay, this is cheesecake. I can do this."
I like her daring, adventurous attitude.
But yeah, it's really weird eating in the pitch dark when you don't know where your utensils are, you don't know where your drink is, you have to feel around and hope you don't knock the glass over.
Yeah.
It's hard feeling around for the food on your plate. Like when I had my salad, I didn't know if I was done, so I was running my fingers along the plate to try and feel the salad. Of course, no one could see that I was doing this, so...
Right, of course.
No one knows. And then afterwards, I was feeling along the placemats, and I just felt lettuce everywhere, because apparently I'd knocked it off in the process.
That's awesome. So wait, how do you say, like, I'm done?
You say the waiter's name.
Oh.
Out loud.
Do they have, like, goggles or something to see you?
No, so the thing is, all the waiters in this restaurant are actually blind.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
No way.
That's awesome.
I think they do it because they have a better understanding of moving through dark places anyway, because that's just their life, so they wouldn't have any sort of adjustment period.
Well, that's actually pretty great, I guess.
Yeah. So, very cool experience. Matt, you should take Liza sometime. Try it out.
I'm really interested in that. That sounds really cool. I'm a sloppy enough eater without being in the dark, so...
Pardon?
I said I'm a sloppy enough eater without being in the dark, so it'd be interesting to see how that works out.
So, Jet, how many years are you celebrating?
This was our 6-year anniversary, so we are now on year 7.
It's a good year. I hear it is.
Yes,
well, I'll report
I can
back
confirm
as
it's a good year.
Okay, there we go. And Jason, you've been on some crazy globetrotting adventures.
Globetrotting.
So I'm going to say it because the way this shows up, we should throw in the Bosscast topic of the week right now, and then we'll just talk about what we're playing at the end.
Sure, why not?
Sure.
So, Jason, what have you been up to?
I recently went to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show.
Topic of the week.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, so CES, a little old at this point, but it's not every day that you get someone on the podcast that was actually on the show floor and got to try all sorts of cool stuff and see everything. So, Jason, we want to know it all.
So, I remember the first day we were there, it was kind of funny because we were trying to sum it up, and everyone summed it up in just one word, and it was curves, because everything seems to be curved, and that's the new thing. So, LG, Sony, and all the other big brands curved their TVs. So basically the idea was that the proportions on the edge of the TV wouldn't be correct to the ones in the middle because TVs are so big now. So when you curve it, it gives you a better image, a more realistic look. So things on the edge aren't like really huge and disproportionate. So that's why they put curves in the TV. But then there's curves in like cell phones too, which doesn't make the same, sense because cell phones are small, but they're also curved. And there's a lot of new just tech all around there, but that was the big thing. So curved TVs are coming.
Did you see a noticeable difference in picture quality with a curved TV versus a straight one?
No, like there's not really a difference in quality. I think it just looks more natural. I guess put it that way. I mean, I guess if I had to choose, do I want a curved TV or a non-curved one? I would take the curved one because it looks a little bit better.
Wow.
But it's not really necessary. I guess I'm not that much of a, I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to care as much to require it, but if you're looking for a more authentic look, I think that's the way to go. And they did do a lot of displays too with even more like Ultra HD.
Yeah.
And there's this one demo of this. Okay, the TV was probably like 80 inches, so it was really huge. But they had this side-by-side comparison of the two images, or they would do like one picture of a face, then draw a line right down the middle to see the regular HD and the Ultra HD. And in the Ultra HD, they had this woman she had makeup all over her face, and you could see like each little hair on her face and the makeup that each hair held. It was pretty phenomenal, and that was pretty cool. But again, like, you know, does it need to be that more in def? You know, high def? It doesn't really need to be that, but it is. So
well, there are certain cases. I don't know. We might have talked about it on the show where the higher fidelity kind of ruins certain types of video. I guess I'll try and pick a more PG example here. I remember years ago seeing a picture of Alicia Keys, and it was, I can't remember, it must have been like a gajillion megapixels, because it looked regular size, and then when I clicked it, it just kind of super blew up. And what happened was, it kind of zoomed in on her chest area, and within her chest, you could see like all her chest hairs and stuff, and I just went, oh no! Oh, this is not the Alicia Keys I wanted to see.
Alicia Keys
yeah,
chest hair.
in a similar way, there's another image of a woman, and you could see like a little bit of like lip hair around her lip, and then some nose hairs coming out, and like I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but I think they're just pointing out like, oh, look how good she looks, but now she doesn't look, you know, you can see everything, and so maybe she was like offended or something, but yeah, it was there, so.
Man, I'm gonna look so bad in 4K.
Yes, exactly. Worse than real life, actually.
Worse than real life.
It's funny, too, that they're demoing a lot of the new TV, like the curved ones, in 4K. So people, like the average consumer that doesn't know a whole lot about 4Ks, look at that and say, oh, man, curved TVs make so much of a difference. Look how clear this is.
Yes, exactly.
You know, when it has nothing to do with the curved TV.
Exactly.
Did you notice that it kind of looked almost 3D when you looked at the curved
kind
TV?
Of, yeah.
That was one of the things I noticed.
Yeah, I think it's because it's more accurate looking. So I think it just jumps out at you as being like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
And that's a neat feature. Speaking of 3D, they had you know, I can't remember the company. I want to say it was Samsung, but they had a TV like 60 inch, and it was glasses free 3D. So it was quite literally a giant 3DS screen.
Wow.
And so long they had this little white box on the bottom, and depending on where you would move, like to the left or right of the TV, the box would move with you. And so long as you had the little box lined up right in the middle, it gave you that 3D image. And it was pretty cool. I mean, I remember Nintendo saying that, you know, this technology can only be done on this small screen, and now it's on this huge, you know, 60-inch TV. So that's coming too.
So that being said, can more than one person watch that TV?
Oh, definitely, because there was like a crowd all around it. And when you're on the left or right, it's still a really nice TV, but I don't think you're going to get the full effect of the 3D.
Right.
But, you know, it's not two images layered over one another, so no matter where you're looking, it looks clear. But if you're in the middle, it's also in 3D.
Yeah, so I guess that's what I was saying, like, two people watching the TV from different angles won't both see it in 3D.
Mm. Yeah, it was a wide range, because I think we were maybe, like, standing 4 or 5 feet from the TV, and I would say the like, 5 people in the middle could all see it. So, I mean, that's easily, you know, like a couch.
Yeah.
You could easily
that's pretty good.
all see 3D. But, yeah. So TVs are coming. Oh, I guess they're already here, but better TVs are coming.
Did they have the ultimate 150-inch curved smart TV with 4K resolution and 3D there?
Was that a real thing, or are you just...
Yeah, was that a real thing? I'm making it up off the top of my head, but did that happen?
Okay, well, no, it's funny, because there actually was this huge display of several 100-inch TV that was... it was there last year, too, but it's just a big demo of 3D TVs and what they can do, and they basically hooked up, like, 6 of them, and I think some of them were curved, but so to answer your question, pretty much, yeah, that was there. But it was cool. But yeah, I saw some other game stuff. We can talk about video game things, because that's kind of what I was searching out.
Video games. Who needs
so,
those?
is there anything you guys have questions about before you go into it, or what?
I just want to hear your experience.
Yeah.
The experience.
Tell me
so
more.
So we'll start with... What was that?
I just said tell me more.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Did you just pull out a Grease reference?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, and we're done. I think the first thing that I really saw that I got hands-on with was the NVIDIA Shield, which isn't really, quite new, but it was cool. I mean, have you guys played it before? It's been out for a while now.
No.
I have not seen one in real life.
It was nice. Like, it's just the, controller with the screen on top. It looks really good and it feels hefty, but I just don't really see the point of pulling your game off of your PC and onto this small screen. But, I mean, it looked good, and if you're into that, I guess it's there.
Did it seem to stream all right?
Oh yeah, it was flawless, so that was really good. But I mean, it's an NVIDIA display, so they're probably running something really great. But, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, the better thing was, as I was playing that, I noticed that behind me, they had the display for the Steam machine.
Oh,
so
wow.
They had one. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure several companies are doing Steam machines. Do you guys know any more about it?
13 to 15 different companies.
Right,
and
right.
The cost of the Steam boxes ranges from like as low as $500 to, I think there are some that are over $2,000.
Holy cow.
Unfortunately, I don't know any price, but this one was NVIDIA's, and it looked nice. It was a big... Okay, what was the size? I guess it was the size of the new model of the Xbox 360. I guess it's the Slim.
Right.
And it was black, and it was about the same size. It was cool. I mean, it was just the machine. It wasn't running anything, but it would look nice sitting next to your TV. So that was there. And then I actually was able to use the Steam controller.
Oh.
So, yeah. They had a demo up, but at the moment there were no games to play it with, so we were just able to hold it and feel around and stuff. It's cool. It's surprisingly light. So I was curious if it was just the shell with nothing inside, but I mean, it was like 6-axis light. So that was kind of strange. And there's buttons everywhere. And I guess when I would look at the pictures, I never really noticed how there were buttons all over the place, but there's the 2 thumb tracks, and then there's 4 inside buttons, 4 buttons outside of that. 1 shoulder button or 2 shoulder buttons, I don't remember. Then there's 2 buttons on the back where your fingers would rest on the back of the controller. So it's loaded up. But one of the other attendees and I heard him overheard him talking to his friend saying how is this superior over the mouse and keyboard? So I mean, I think that's the question that we're not going to know until we finally play it. But I don't know. I mean, it felt fine. It was a nice feel, and I think that it needs to be implemented well for people to actually take it and use it. So I guess it just depends on what game, I guess is what I'm getting at. You need to play with it. But it was nice. Laura said she was using it and her fingers got a little sweaty, and other people I'm sure are the same way. So I'm curious how it'll respond. I mean, people play PC games for a lot, and if you're using your thumbs all the time on that trackpad, what if it keeps sliding off? It could kill you or something.
Do you guys have any interest in the Steam machine, I guess, ecosystem?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm happy with the Steam client, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, because I don't really know who that thing is for, because pretty much anyone that I know that already plays on PC wouldn't buy one because they already have a PC, or would just be better, or would be more comfortable making their own. And then on the other opposite end of the spectrum, I'm someone who won't play PC with a 10-foot pole, and this does nothing to make me more interested in playing the platform, because it's still a PC, still variable hardware. I mean, you could plug in your own controller in it, but then the pricing's still kind of wacky, and in a couple of years, the machine's still going to be out of date, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So it's just, I kind of don't see, as a consumer, what the point is.
So it's actually funny if...
Oh, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jay.
Okay. The only thing I could really see being a benefit would be that you could pull a huge library of games and play it in your living room on the Steam machine. And that could be exciting for someone that doesn't have a console. But I mean, for like you said, $500, I'd rather just buy a PS4 and then now I can play games on my PC and have a PS4. So maybe it's just not for us.
You could spend, $20 and get a long HDMI cable and run it to your television.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of boggles my mind about the Steam OS is that it's marketed as, oh, you can now play your games on the big screen. But it's like, I could always do that if I just ran an HDMI cable to my TV. Or like, I know people that have, 30, 40 inch computer monitors, like TVs set up as computer monitors. So I don't know. I don't really think the draw is there for me.
Yeah, I can't really understand what would drive someone to spend the money or to do that and not just play a console game or just stay on the PC.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess. I mean, it's Valve. They always seem to crank out miracles.
Well, especially now since, the parity between, PC gaming and console gaming is, I mean, it's not obviously the same, but it's getting closer and closer. So true. It's not like saying, oh, the best graphics are on PC. Granted, they are, but like I said, the gap is narrowing. So to come out with something like this now, if they came out with something like this, 5 years ago, it would have been a little different. But now there's so much similarity between what the PC looks like and what consoles look like. I don't know. It seems like they've kind of lost that sort of marketing edge.
Maybe they're expecting developers to make a game that's more like a console game in terms of like controls and stuff. And that might draw people. And also, I mean, Steam is pretty much the harbinger for indie games, so maybe it's an indie crowd thing. I feel like we're really old, like, oh, it's an indie thing. What do you think, Jet? You haven't chimed in yet.
I don't even think it's so much the whole, like, graphics are ahead thing. It doesn't really make PC gaming any simpler. If anything, it's more complicated because now I have to buy this box and still have all the same potential issues as a regular PC, which I already have here. So it's kind of hard to see the point of it all.
Well, anyways, let me look at my outline for more game stuff. Yeah, so the Steam controller was there. It was pretty cool. I would say the coolest thing that I actually demoed was the Oculus Rift, just because it was some pretty sweet tech. I'm assuming everyone knows what the Rift is. So I was able to play Half-Life 2 on the Rift. It was just right in the beginning, but it was fun. And I was saying before the show started that it kind of surprised me at how cool it was, just because looking around, I mean, like, you can only see the screen. And so it really absorbs you into the world. And Half-Life 2 was a great game to demo. And it was just really, really fun. And the only drawback was that once I actually did kind of lose my balance, because the system will register some little head twitches and you'll move a little bit, but you also they had an Xbox 360 controller. You use the right stick to control the camera as well. So tilting your head and moving the camera at the same time is a little bit disorienting because you can kind of, you confuse which one is doing which. And so as long as you keep your feet planted or you sit down, you won't lose your balance. But it was cool. I liked it. And I think that I guess I always thought that the idea was that if I wanted to turn around using the Rift, I'd have to like physically turn around. So knowing that I don't have to do that makes me feel a lot better. But I need to see a Oculus Rift specific game to make it have any lasting power, and not one of the porn games. Sorry, Jen.
I think that would have the most lasting power on it. Regardless of its quality, you would not forget that you have played an Oculus Rift porn game.
I couldn't agree more, but I don't want to do that. So it was there. It was cool. Actually, the Rift was everywhere. A lot of places had it, and they were demoing it. We did it. It might have been running off of a Steam machine too, so maybe that was a thing. But the Sony headset was there. That HMZ whatever thing.
Okay.
Man, that thing looks way better than the Rift. That's the biggest thing that I could say.
I saw video of the headset for the first time, and it looked like something from a futuristic movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and Sony's is something I would not be embarrassed to wear. Because I actually wrote a blog post on my Slick Gaming about CES, and I purposefully chose like the two pictures that make the girl using the Sony machine look good, and the one of me looking ridiculous, because it's this huge, like, it's like a Virtual Boy, the Oculus Rift, sitting on your head. It's light, by the way. It doesn't feel heavy at all. But the other one is just so sleek, and I mean, it just goes over the eyes, and they had it displayed so that you could see what the person using it was seeing at Sony's booth. And I mean, it's full HD. It looks great, and it moves just the same way. So, I guess Sony's going to be it's Sony and Oculus to see who's going to win. I heard that Sony was also taking pre-orders for theirs already.
Wow.
So
is there any sort of difference between Sony's product and the Oculus Rift, or are they trying to do the exact same thing?
I feel like they're trying to do the exact same thing. The only real buzzword Sony was throwing around was full HD, but I mean, I thought the Oculus was in HD, so I don't know.
I believe the newer versions of the Oculus Rift do run in HD.
That is a good point. The one that was there was the old one. So maybe the new one, it does look... Maybe hopefully it designed better too, so it doesn't look so silly. But yeah. Yeah, I can't tell any difference.
Did you catch pink eye from using either of those headsets?
I didn't, but now that you mention it, Friday night I did have to stay in the hotel room because I was throwing up profusely from what I assume was food poisoning. But maybe it was pink eye gone bad.
Just pink mouth.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe you caught a glimpse of a picture of yourself in the Oculus Rift.
My stomach. Yeah. But no, I can't say anything else besides just that. They look the same.
Matt, are you excited to pick up a Sony VR headset for your PlayStation 4 for the next time we play Call of Duty?
No, because I don't want to see myself get embarrassed in 3D.
Everywhere I look, it's horrible.
I can't turn my head fast enough to see the guy shooting me.
Yeah, it's funny. Have you guys ever heard of the head play?
Head play? No, I don't think so.
So I can't even remember who made it. I got a demo unit years ago, and I did a review on it. And basically, it is exactly this. Like, you plug your Xbox, literally your like console, into the headset, and it's pretty like not that great looking, but it sort of simulates the same idea where you can see the screen. And the idea was you could take it with you and play somewhere where you don't have a television. And that whole experience to me is just really off-putting. I don't know. Like, I'd much rather use a television or a computer monitor or a handheld than wear my TV.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play a Virtual Boy?
Yes.
I
rented one.
Ooh. That
which now that with your
short rental period.
I was gonna say, with your pink eye comment, chat now makes me immediately regret renting it.
Explains everything.
It was the future, man. At that time, it's like, holy cow, this is awesome. It was definitely not awesome.
Yeah, I like during the early / mid 90s. I was super hardcore Nintendo fanboy. Nintendo can't do anything wrong. Look at Sega with their stupid Sega CD and 32X. Nintendo would never do anything like that. Oh, here comes the Virtual Boy. Oh man, I can't wait to play this thing. It's gonna be in 3D. Who cares if it's all red? Look at those graphics. And then I remember being super disappointed when I entered a contest to win a Virtual Boy and I didn't win. But my friend John got it on day one, and I went to his place and tried Mario Tennis.
Yep.
And after that first time, I was like, oh, all right, I'm done with this.
No.
We don't need to play this anymore. I did play the Virtual Boy a few other times at our local Kmart when Canada still had those. And I remember playing Red Alarm, which was the sort of bootleg Star Fox-like game. Mm-hmm. And that game was a disaster. Oh, man. Like, you're trying to fly through these 3D worlds that are all vector-based, but then your character's also vectors, so all you're really looking at is a ship flying through a whole bunch of lines and you can't make out what's a space and what's a wall. And then I also played the 2D Mario game, and that was just Mario Bros.
Yeah.
And then the Virtual Boy died.
Yeah, it didn't even really live. Did it?
DOA.
I kind of still want one.
Yeah.
I've seen them around at a few pawn shops every now and then, and I've considered it, but never pulled the trigger.
Yeah. After I got the Saturn, my eyes are set on the Virtual Boy now, so we'll see. It's so easy. I mean, like, once you buy it, you only need to get like 24 games and you're done. So
it's pretty the entire library.
Yeah.
And it's a good conversation piece to have around.
Exactly. What is that thing, Dad? Oh, son, let me tell you.
This was the future back in my day.
The future was very, very red. So anyways, more CES stuff. So right next to the VR headset at Sony's booth, they were demoing the newly announced PlayStation... Is it PlayStation Now? The streaming thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Yeah. So I'm assuming that's what they're using with Gaikai. And it's pretty cool. So the idea is that you can stream from the cloud to right now just the PS3, PS4, and then they're going to include the Vita in the future, and then beyond that, Sony TVs will also have it. And they had a PS4 running God of War 3, and a PS Vita running The Last of Us. And they both looked really good. One of our friends noticed that there was some screen tears and a little lag in terms of graphical display. But other than that, I mean, it was a great run of both games. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. Now, really, Sony just needs to capitalize and make it a good service, and that should take off. That should be a great selling point. So I'm really excited for that.
I think it all hinges on its performance over Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Over Wi-Fi and dealing with, at least up here, Canadian bandwidth limits of just streaming all your video games through that particular method. Like, I don't want to be playing halfway through a Final Fantasy and then, I ran out of bandwidth. I'm going to have to pay extra to finish this game this month.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap.
That's a good point, actually. But I kind of hope they implement something along the lines of like losing your connection and the game has been like auto-saved or, something like that. Otherwise, it would really suck ass.
Like just sort of like frequent cloud saves or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Which, I mean, that should be very doable. But
except there are games made specifically where you're not supposed to be allowed to save for difficulty reasons.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see how they'd implement that on games that don't like you doing that.
But maybe they could do it something like you can only save if you get booted or kicked out or something, and then once you come back in, your save is deleted, and so you have to just
that's true too.
Yeah. But
I think
go on.
I think I'm more curious about the technology than I am about the games that are being offered.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know if I really want to pay a monthly fee to play PlayStation 3 games when I've got a PS3 and pretty much all the games I wanted. But if the technology takes off, this could be, it's probably going to be the first step in what will likely be the eventual move to where every video game is just streaming off a giant cloud somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It's the end of my collection days.
No, then it just means your collection's more valuable.
True. I like you, Matt. I think that for me, I feel like it just hinges on what they're going to give you. So, what if it's like, pay $15 a month for every PS3 game, but also pay $15 a month for every PS2 game, So are they going to like make you do it that way? Or is it going to be a subscription service where you just get, so many games and not necessarily what system they're on? So I guess I just want to see what they're going to do before I make any final judgments.
It seems really weird that, I heard them talking about a subscription-based model, and I mean, they can't, I don't know if they could, but to me, it seems like they couldn't give you unlimited access for a subscription fee, to every game in the PlayStation library. That's just ridiculous, right? So then what is it? Do they charge you per, do you rent them like Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Or do you, and then what's the price point? How long do you get it for? I don't know. It's weird. I called it a virtual Blockbuster, so we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like the internet, let's call it that, is calling it like Netflix for games, but I don't think that's a good description. Just because I don't think it'll ever work, like you're saying. So I think it needs to be a rent and or buy system, and that's how you get it.
From what I've read, it's rent or some sort of subscription fee.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm wondering is, what do you get for the subscription?
Yeah.
Subscription fee.
My gut says it has to be everything. If you're going to go that far, you got to go all the way. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling you will not be happy with that monthly price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless that's the only thing you're buying and playing.
Yeah.
Which is plausible. It could be. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they're even talking about this thing at this point. Like, I had grave concerns about this thing ever working at all, and now here they are, like, we're going into beta at the end of this month, and it'll be out this summer.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of excited to see what the heck this ends up being.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, again, your point about Canadian bandwidth, that's going to be a huge factor. So we'll see how that works. Because even if it's a subscription-based model and you have access to everything, you're not going to have access to everything.
No.
I mean, you're going to download 1 or 2, maybe 3 games, and then see you later.
Yeah, I get to play 4 hours of The Last of Us before I am out of internet.
Absolutely. I mean, you're thinking of these games are streaming in HD.
Yeah.
Like I mean, 3 or 4 HD movies can use up some people's bandwidth. You know what I mean? So if you're playing hours and hours and hours of streaming HD games, I mean, look at Ni no Kuni, right? So I put 50 hours. That's 50 hours streaming HD. That's, like, it's not even, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it.
Yeah. What was I gonna... It was, I was mixing down some video from the Elgato, and it was recording at 720p, and when it spit it back out, it was like the highest video settings off of 720p was like 173 megabytes a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're streaming that for a 50-hour game, forget about it.
Well, that's not even to talk about, lag issues and latency and all that stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I don't know about you guys, but in any multiplayer game or anything where you actually need a competitive edge, half a second of lag is like do or die, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it'll be interesting.
What else did you see at CES?
More stuff. I can't really think of any other major gaming stuff because it's actually gaming's really a low part of CES. There's not that much.
Yeah. I still remember when I started reading EGM in the early 90s, and CES was the place.
Really?
And I would always get excited for that January, February issue because that's when everything from CES showed up in the magazine, and that was how I planned out my year of game purchases.
Nice. Yeah, they didn't have any new games at Sony's that I could demo. But other than that, there was cameras are all over the place. So like Canon and all these other places had lots of new cameras and random things to add on to your camera. But I don't know. Do you guys do a lot of picture taking or videos or anything?
I just got Steph a camera for Christmas.
Nice.
It has lots of megapixels on it.
It's already obsolete. No, I'm kidding.
Probably. I mean, it's not curved, so...
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That. I'm waiting for the curved fridge and the curved microwave.
Oh, yeah, we actually saw... Okay, not curved fridges and microwaves, but there were refrigerators that would have, like, smart panels on them, and so you could set it up so it could send you messages when you're low on something. So, I guess, like, when you're low on eggs or milk, maybe it determines the weight that it's, like, on a pressure plate, and it can text you or like tweet you that you're low on this item.
See, here's the thing about that. If I'm low on milk or eggs, I generally know because I go to get some and they're not there.
Yes.
Or the carton, I use some milk and then realize, oh, this is getting low. I don't know.
Yeah, Steph is horrified. I remember it was either I read an article or I saw on TV of Android-based home appliances, so Android-based washers and dryers, that like tweeted you or texted you when the laundry was done, all that type of stuff. And she was like, no, I don't want any of that in my appliances. And I said, well, it's going to happen. Before we die, everything in our house is going to be computerized and we'll tweet and text and surf the internet and all that.
Yeah, pretty much. If CES taught me anything else, it was that. I don't know, like even things that you're like, oh, my washer and dryer, I don't need anything else with this. Like, nope, now you need to have this, this, and this. And
yep.
Yeah.
I need a 4K washer and dryer that's curved and has a smart panel on it. And yeah, just throw it all in there.
But does it wash clothes? It does.
Wash clothes?
The iPhone is one of the crappiest telephones in terms of actually making phone calls on it, but you don't hear anyone complain about that.
Exactly.
It doesn't stop people from buying iPhones.
Yeah.
It's true. There was this neat little feature for... It wasn't an iPhone. It had to be an Android phone. But it was a shake resistance like camera. And so they had tech built in. That was pretty sweet. And they showed two other phones and it was on like a vibrating stand. And it was trying to take video. And then they had the one in the middle that was like balanced out, auto-corrected with anti-shake. That was pretty cool. Like that was a neat little feature. So if you're, I don't know, on the go and take a lot of videos, that was pretty cool to look forward to. They also had a lot of new integrations with like pulling your smart TVs, like video games, and using controllers to use them. So, great for me. They actually were demoing Skylanders, and it's the one that's only on the iPad. And so they actually like shot it up to the TV, and they were able to use this new controller to play it with like a regular controller. And it was fun. That's how I'd want to play it. I'm not going to play it with like a TV remote, but I don't know. It's a lot of things that you didn't really think about that are the ones that, I don't know, people seem to be focusing on in certain rooms. So, and then along with the Roombas are all there and the random robots with that dance to music and stuff. But that's, oh yeah, I forgot. The last one on the list, modular computers. So this was the big one I remember most is by the company Razer. And they have this, it's a computer tower, essentially, but how's the best way to describe this? It's like there's a tower in the middle, and then on either side of the tower, you slot in stuff. So like you can add in RAM and extra like processors just by slotting it into the tower. And they called it modular computers. And
yeah, I saw an article on this. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And like it looked really cool. I mean, it's Razer. Razer is, pretty stylistic, but modular computers, that's pretty neat. And for the non-tech person like me, ironic that I went to CES, that was pretty cool because it made it really easy. Like, I could just put this in and now I have more processing power. And that was neat. I'm sure it's quite expensive, but it looked really cool.
Now you're playing with power.
Exactly. Modular power. That's pretty much it. It was really, really crowded, and it was in Las Vegas, so the rides to and from were ridiculous.
What else did you do in Vegas?
Did
you go back to our spot, Jason?
What's that?
Did you go back to our spot?
No, I didn't, but Laura mentioned that, she's like, oh, Jet's not here. We should get chicken and waffles, but we didn't actually go back.
Oh.
I know. It's sad. We got, like pizza and steak and stuff a few nights, and, we went gambling only a few days. Laura's dad won like $500, so he's pretty lucky.
Whoa!
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I lost 40, but it was okay because they had a Plants vs. Zombies slot machine. I know, it was awesome. And, it's a slot machine, so you just line stuff up. But I actually got the bonus, and all they have you do is pick, in this bonus, which side will win, the zombies or the plants. And then they randomly appear on the game board like they do in the actual Plants vs. Zombies game. And so I picked the plants the first round because you get 5. And the zombies won. And so I picked the zombies, and then the zombies won again. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll pick the plants this time. And then the zombies won again. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I picked the zombies, and they ended up winning all 5 times. So I think it was kind of stacked, but I figured it out. So I ended up getting an extra, like, $2. But
yeah. Nice.
Take that, Vegas.
Exactly. But no, other than that, it was just kind of fun and games until I got really sick Friday night. But it's over now, so that's good. Hopefully next year it'll be fun again, and be able to go if I'm lucky enough.
Cool. I would love to go back to Vegas and possibly hit one of those shows someday. I don't think I'm ever going to get the credentials to go to something like a CES or an E3, but...
Oh, I got one for you. Apparently, the week after CES, so like right now, or was it last week? No, right now.
Are you talking about the AVNs?
What? Oh, the adult videos? How did you know? I was like, this is for you, Jet.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, the week after CES, you can go. I wonder how many people stay for both.
Talk about pink eye.
Hey-o.
Yeah, those are on right. That's a thing. I haven't followed that at all. I just
Whatever, Jet. Whatever.
I swear that's all I know
sure, Jet.
that's happening.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I remember you saying on an earlier episode how you recognized someone from a certain video. You're like, that's that one person. And then it was them.
But it was the Vegas thing. They were not a porn star.
Oh, okay.
They were a model.
Oh, okay.
That was a model. It was a model.
Gotcha.
Did she have her clothes on in that picture? She was a model. It doesn't matter. She was not a porn star.
Nice.
Yeah, let's talk about some games that we've been playing. Jason, we're going to give you a break because I noticed you've talked for like the last 45 minutes straight.
Sorry.
So, no, that's awesome. Like, Matt and I will never be able to provide anything of value like that to this show.
Well, thank you.
We don't get to
thanks,
go
Jay.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later.
I only mean it in terms of the exclusive access and whatnot. Although Matt does go to some stuff down here.
Yeah.
I guess it's just me. I could never do that. But anyway, Matt, what have you been playing?
So I got the Daisy standalone, the new. So it used to be a mod for a game called Arma, but now they released it as a standalone. And I remember hating it, but my brother started playing it. So he's like, "Oh man, come on, get on here, it's fun." I go, "Dude, I played this before. It's not fun. Trust me, I don't want to do it." So he's like, "Oh, whatever." So then he played and played. Then he called me again. He's like, "Dude, come on." He goes, "It's a little different." He goes, "Come on and try it." So I said, "Okay, whatever." So I bought it, and it's a little different this time around. It's a little funny enough. It's a little less polished than the mod because it's a standalone, which is even worse because I didn't like the other one. But I played the other one alone, and I think that was my issue because playing with another player is way better. There literally nothing happens in this game for a long stretch of time, and the idea is you are in a world that's basically devastated by, I guess, a zombie apocalypse, but you rarely see zombies. The idea is that you basically go around scavenging for things, so clothing, weapons, food, and you have like a hunger and thirst level. So, as you're running, you start to get thirsty, you have to find water, or hungry, you have to find food, and you can't open things. You have to get like a can opener to open things, or you can use sharp objects, but then if you use too sharp of an object that's big, you can lose some of the stuff that's in the can. It's really weird. Like if you get bit by a zombie, your player that you're with or you can administer yourself like an IV drip, but you have to have all the necessary things like the IV tube and the bag and a syringe, and it's extremely intricate in the way everything works. And a lot of the things that they thought of are very real life-ish. So, for a gun, you pick up a gun, but generally it's empty. So you have to find a clip, and then you have to find ammo, and then you have to load the ammo into the clip, then you have to load the clip into the gun, and then put the gun in your inventory before you can use it.
Sounds like a lot of work.
You know what? It is, but I think it's because literally nothing happens in this game. So you need to have to do... Yeah, exactly. You have to be able to do something. But the real sort of cool thing is that you can talk in the game like through your player. So you can toggle it on or off, or you can just hold the button to talk. But essentially, you're broadcasting through the player's mouth. So if I'm running with, say, you, Jason, and you get too far away from me, and you talk to me, it sounds like you're talking from far away.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
It sounds like, or if you yell, I can hear you yelling, but it sounds like you're yelling from across the field, or yelling from upstairs, or yelling from the basement or something. And then this way you can also interact with any other players you might meet as well. So there's tons of videos and tons of things that we've seen where, people hold people up, or they steal their shoes, or like they do crazy stuff, all in the name of just sort of, exploration and fun. So it's kind of a real life simulator, for better or for worse. And again, in the guise of zombie apocalypse, which so many things are.
Right.
So it's interesting. I'm still playing it.
That game is still in pre-alpha, right?
Oh, yeah. It's extremely unpolished. There's like certain things where you're just kind of walking on a rooftop and then you just die because you fall off the rooftop, but you're not even near the edge. Random glitch stuff, like there's a lot of clipping issues. You get stuck in things, and like hitting things and shooting things is kind of off sometimes, like the aiming, and I don't know. It's very, very pre-alpha, but I think with a little polish, it could actually be decent.
I mean, when you're describing it, the concept sounds kind of cool, but if there's nothing else to do, then just load guns.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, you find food, and so for instance, you find a can of tuna. You have to open the can of tuna, or you can't eat it.
Do you have to physically move your hand to pick up the tuna?
No, it's not like, imagine it was integrated with like Surgeon Simulator or something. No, it's not. But yeah, it's very realistic, I guess. And like I said, for better or for worse, some people might not like that, but it's an interesting concept, and it works rather well for something that's in pre-alpha. But yeah, for a zombie apocalypse game, it takes place entirely in the daylight, which I guess kind of ruins the mood a little bit. But every day is like perfect weather and sun shining. So even when you run into zombies, it's kind of like, whatever, no big deal.
Maybe you can buy the stormy weather DLC.
Yeah, I guess. Eventually. People are modding this, I think, as it goes. So I think there's certain servers where you can go where certain aspects are different. But as far as the actual core gameplay, it's all the same right now. But well, with a little bit of polish, it looks like it could be decent. It's slowly changing my mind.
And the whole point of that game is to just stay alive for as long as you can, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You run around and try to stay alive. And that's against zombies. It's against the elements. So like I say the elements, but that means like falling off a building and you die. And the thing is, when you die, that's it. So everything you've done up to that point is basically null and void. If you have nobody near you, you have to respawn, and you respawn with nothing again on the other side of the map. So the map is gigantic. I think it took one of the guys like 5.5 real life hours to run from coast to coast. Wow. Yeah, I did a stop motion video of it. It's on YouTube, and it pretty much confirmed what I thought. Because my brother and I were running to try and find this military base, and eventually we just gave up. Because you have no compass, and you literally have to tell the direction you're going by where the sun is. But as I said before, the game takes place at exactly like noon in bright sunlight, so you can't even read the sun because it's not setting nor is it rising. So it's interesting. Yeah, and aside from that, Jet, I'm playing NBA.
Okay.
I think I talked to you before a little bit about it, and I said I had some issues with it.
So what are your issues with NBA 2K?
Well, I hate the VC system, for one thing. And I think... Sorry, go ahead.
So what do you hate about it? Because I see a lot of people complain about it, and when I was playing the game, I did not have a problem with it at all.
Really?
But my guy... Like, I would get some points, and by the time I was at, like, a player rating of 70, I was averaging, like, 40 points a game, 5 assists, 5 boards.
Wow.
Really? Maybe I'm just not that good at the game.
So, one of the criticisms of the game is the controls are kind of complicated, and they don't really teach you how to do things, and...
That was one of my main concerns. Like, I plugged the game in, I turned it on, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. Because I'd never played... I played a little bit of 2K12, like, probably, I would say maybe combined 2 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, literally, I went in blind. Like, I didn't know the controls or anything. And they're really sort of not... Like, the learning curve is pretty steep as far as controls go.
Really steep. It took me... Like, I played 2K13 last year, and, like, going into 2K14, I forgot a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't remember how to run a pick and roll play. I didn't remember how to post up, how to do fancy passes, jump shots I could do, but, like, my timing was all off.
Yeah, my timing is awful. And I've gotten a little better, but it's still not the greatest.
And there are some other things that drove me nuts. Like, if you are playing in a career mode and you are not the point guard, you cannot call your defensive sets.
Yeah, I know.
That's ridiculous. Like, I was getting torched left, right, and center. I'm like, I just want to run a 2-3 zone right here, and the game does not let you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I found, I don't know, like, and then specifically some of the things within the career that, like, some of the choices that you make, or like story things where, you'll get called out. So at the beginning of the match, your rival, quote unquote, the guy that you're competing against the whole time, he's like, oh, yo, try to outscore me in this game. And if you do, whatever, I'll wear a, dunce hat or something. But then you go in the game for like 3.5 minutes and then you get benched. So it's like, he's out there, you're watching him score like 45 points and you're only on the court for like a combined 4 minutes. So there's literally no way you can beat him.
Yeah.
And then he comes off, he's like, oh, good try, man, But it's like, well, it wasn't really a good try because I didn't play hardly at all. So anyway.
Yeah, the game does ramp up once you get better and the coach trusts you and you finally get to be a starter and all that. But yeah, that takes some time. And like I remember talking about 2K14 at the beginning, like the start of that game is the worst.
Oh, man. Well, I didn't even believe, like I believed you when you said it, but I didn't really know the extent of it. But you literally do not step on the court for like an hour.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then even when you get to the court, you ride the bench for like the first 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a patience simulator.
I actually traded in 2K14 a couple of days ago.
Oh, really?
I got as far as I was going to go in the career, and I kind of ended on a bad note. So I was like, I'm not going to play this game again. I might as well go and get something in return. So I traded
what did they give you for it?
$30.
That's not too bad.
For a sports game, for any, I guess, relatively new release, that's as high as it's going to go. So I traded that in with a bunch of other old stuff, and I got $69 in return. And with that, I got Assassin's Creed 4, and with the taxes and stuff, that would have gotten me like 67. So I didn't want to carry around a $2 gift card So I was looking for like a chocolate bar or something to use with the rest of it, and then I found a copy of Crisis 2 for $5.
Oh,
So
nice.
well, I'll do that instead. So I got
than
Crisis
chocolate.
2 and Assassin's Creed 4 for $3.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, so that was the other game on my list is I just beat Assassin's Creed 4.
All right.
And obviously no spoilers, but decent.
Okay.
I like the story. I literally, I kind of was a little put off on Assassin's Creed games for the last couple of them, ever since, I think Brotherhood. I loved Brotherhood, and then after that, I kind of fell off. I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3, and then I lost my save game, so I never finished it. But I really liked Assassin's Creed 4. I thought it was probably my best experience in an Assassin's Creed, like in the Assassin's Creed franchise, I would say.
Nice.
All right. I'm
So-
hoping to get back to that. Well,
Mhm.
get to it. I just unhooked my PS4 to put my PS3 back in so I could play some Ni no Kuni. But after that, I will play some Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, and it looks so good. It looks so good on the PS4.
And I see you got Tomb Raider on here, too.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but
Okay.
I bought it on the Steam sale. I think it was like $6 or $7. Couldn't go wrong with that. So
No, you cannot.
I haven't looked forward to playing a game in quite some time, as much as I'm looking forward to playing Tomb Raider. I've heard really good things about it, so yeah, just finding the time. But I will hopefully have started it and or gotten at least a bit of the way through it by the next podcast. So I'll let you guys know.
It's not terribly long, so I think if it gets its hooks into you, you might be done by the time we talk again.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. I guess to give Jason a bit more of a break,
Ooh,
I beat
catch my breath.
Pokemon X.
Oh, and
Yeah, I started playing that, and for the first, I'd say 8 hours of that game, I was just like, I don't know if I like this game. And then I got to, like, the absolute worst part of that game, which was the gap between the first and the second gym, which is like 5 hours long, inexplicably, where you're just, like, I've never played a Pokemon game before, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of walking forward, like, am I doing something wrong? And then at a certain point, I got to this beach, and there was this girl, and she said, I lost my fossil, come back later.
Oh, I know that beach.
Yep. And I don't know, do I have to help this girl find this fossil? No. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and they'd go to the girl, and she would give them a different thing, completely different conversation. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So apparently, I wasn't supposed to go to the beach. I was supposed to go past the observatory and then go into the caves for like some 1 hour quest, which has nothing to do with the girl and her fossil. Beat that and then go to the girl and she'd give you the dowsing rod.
Yeah.
And that was like the absolute low point for me of like, this had nothing to do with that. So why did you stop me from going there? Why didn't you just tell me, go to the caves and go do something else and then come back?
I know the exact point you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of those types of points in Pokemon, but after that one, I kind of got the hint of like, oh, I missed something. I should go figure this out.
Yeah.
But, the actual, like, raising of Pokemon and fighting Pokemon was really cool. And I really liked that battle system, and I really enjoyed leveling up my dudes.
What did you end with, your team?
My final team was Delphox, the legendary Pokemon, Xerneas,
Mhm.
Pancham,
Nice.
Marowak, and there was two more. Blastoise
Ooh, nice.
and Lucario, who are both Mega Evolved.
Right. I could see you using Marowak. You kind of look like Marowak.
What?
Spiky hair.
He has his mother's dead skull on top of his head.
Yeah, see, it's
And
like
that's what my...
a match, exactly. I'm kidding. I'm glad you liked the game, though.
In the grand scheme of things, yes. Most of the game was the parts that I liked, and then the stuff that I didn't like, I really didn't like about that game. That 3D, the city in the middle is the worst to navigate.
Yeah,
And I
Lumino
don't
City,
understand
it's bad.
why there are 800 cafes there.
Yeah, and nothing really stands out to let you know where you are.
No, and then there's the taxi cab, but then you have to pay money for that, and it's dumb.
At least they
But-
tried something new, but hopefully never again.
Yeah. And Ben made a great point on the Short Attention Gamer podcast where he mentioned that there was too many menus in that game. And like I see what they were trying to do of when you make a decision, they want to make sure that you are intentionally making that decision, because there's some really serious things you could mess up there if you don't do it right, but it just cluttered the game in a way I did not like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
One of the things I did not realize going into this was that I always thought that a Pikachu was a Pikachu was a Pikachu. And, like, if you had a level 50 Pikachu, your level 50 would be the same as my level 50. But that's not actually the case, because your 50 Pokemon could have learned completely different moves and be equipped with a completely different item, so it could be very different. And I actually think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Or you could have bred your Pikachu and it could be even more powerful.
Mm.
Do you notice the secret with Pikachu, or the unique thing that he does in that game?
I never caught a Pikachu.
Oh, did you ever run into one?
Yes.
You didn't notice what he did that no one else did?
No.
Pikachu is the only one that says its name.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the first time. Usually they have that weird, like, 8-bit, garbage. But Pikachu says Pikachu.
Oh.
I thought it was cool.
Well,
It happened and I was like, oh my god.
Other things I played Mario Kart 7, and that game sucks. Don't do it.
What?
I don't like Mario Kart 7 is boring. It is the new tracks are all uninspired. You get the new gliding thing, and the drive underwater, but they don't add anything new to the experience.
I agree.
If anything, they're just like crappier versions of the jet and the boat in Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, which does it way better. And so, I mean, like, the biggest innovation of Mario Kart 7 is way worse than something in another game, and otherwise it's the exact same Mario Kart you've been playing all this time. So, I mean, it's functional, it's competent, it looks good, there's no bugs or anything in it, but it's just boring.
Sad.
A much cooler racing game that I played, actually on tabletop, it's Formula D. I don't know if you've heard of this one before, but it is
Is that a racing game?
It is a board game racing simulator.
Yeah.
And
how does that work?
It is. I heard of it for the first time on what used to. I think it was One Up Yours / Weekend Confirmed. Jeff Kanata mentioned it, and I've seen it at Snakes and Lattes a bunch. And Steph and I finally tried it out. And the way it works is that you have a car, you're on a track. You also have a box which has a gearbox on it and a wear point indicator. So we'll start with the gearbox. So, of course, your car, you start on first gear, and you have a dice for that. And then second gear has a different die, third gear has a different die, and they each have, like, increasingly larger numbers and more spots for even more numbers. So on each of your turns, you're either changing your gear higher to go faster or changing your gear down to go slower.
Interesting.
You don't want to just like kick it into sixth gear and keep going, because when you get to the corners, you have to stop a certain number of times in the corner, or else you just kind of speed out and die. So once you approach the corner, you have to start slowing down, and you want to like get the right driving line and stop at the right point so you can speed out of the corner. But sometimes that doesn't always work, so you can do things like skip gears down a bunch, or slam on the brakes to land on a specific spot, but that costs you wear points. And if you run out of wear points, your car blows up and you die.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Escalating fast.
So that was kind of the basic mode. If you're playing advanced, you can simulate weather conditions, you simulate collisions, you can simulate specific damage to your car, so a certain scenario may only damage the engine but not the body, or the different things. You can have separate wear points for your body, your engine, your springs, your tires.
It's pretty depth for a board game.
Yeah, and the base game is really fun, and Steph and I learned that in like 5 minutes. And if you want to go into the super hardcore stuff, like learn slipstreaming and all that, it all works in a way that makes sense within the context of this goofy-looking box and 7 dice. So it is an excellent game for you to try out. And the other tabletop game that I've started playing, that I've wanted to play for a really long time, is Yomi, which is a card game that is trying to simulate a fighting game.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, I mean, the way the main game works is that you each play the role of a character, and each character has their own predefined deck. and each deck has different moves in it, and you are like rock, paper, scissoring the different moves to see like who wins each encounter, and you're trying to hit the other person until they have no health left. And so at a super base level, it's like attacks beat throws, throws beat blocks, blocks beat attacks, which is like the basic trinity of an actual fighting game. But then from there, they have systems in there for like combos, combo breakers. If you knock someone down, you can put them in a mix-up situation. And it actually does feel like a fighting game in card form, and it's really cool. If you're interested in playing it, they have an online version you can play for free, or you can download and print 2 free decks and then play those. So I downloaded the 2 free decks, cut them out, put them in sleeves, and then I played them with my coworkers today. And they actually really liked it.
Interesting.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, my only challenge, like, I want to support the game, and I kind of really want the full set, but the problem is the full set is $80. It's primarily a game that's only 2-player. There are variants for 2v2 and 3v3, so you can actually play it like Marvel vs. Capcom with assist and stuff, but it's primarily a 2-player game, and then I don't think Steph would be all that interested in this because it's not really her style of game, but I'm geeking out about it super hard because I really like it. So, I don't know. There's also discussion of a potential second edition of the game with 10 new characters, but Dave Serlin, who makes the game, says it's not coming out anytime soon, though they're working on it. So I'm like, do I wait? Do I just get this now and buy some sort of expansion to update everything? If you guys were in my shoes, what would you do?
I don't know. I'd just buy it and play it. If it's fun, you like it, why not?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of doing that too. I actually got $40 of my $100 rebate from the winter tires I bought, and I'm like, And it comes in a MasterCard prepaid debit card, so I'm thinking to myself, man, I really hope the board game store takes this.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that's what I've been playing. Back to you, Jason. How about you? What have you been playing? Besides seeing all of the VR headsets and curved TVs and fancy washers and dryers.
It's true. Well, actually, the day before we left, I finally beat A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. And overall, I'd say that game was pretty awesome. Was it your game of the year, Jed? I don't remember.
Number two.
Okay. I can totally see that. And no spoilers or anything. I cannot believe I didn't... Okay, no. Before I make myself sound really dumb. At the very end, I was like, well, duh, this is happening. But then I can't believe I didn't see the other thing happen. I'll discuss with you later what it is, but it involves a certain character, and I was like, oh, I feel so stupid. But anyways, I thought that game was really, really great. And any Zelda fan would absolutely love it. So, really, really cool game. Beyond that, I played another Christmas gift. We opened up Game and Wario for the Wii U. And It was kind of disappointing. It was still fun, but I was hoping for more of a multiplayer game. But it's pretty much a single-player game. So.
Yeah, I posted my review of that relatively recently, and it's quite the bummer.
Yeah.
Of just, there's not many multiplayer games, and most of the mini-games in it aren't that good, or just rip-offs of stuff that was already in Nintendo Land, but worse.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it was still... I mean, it's still fun, but yeah, like, Nintendo Land is there. I'd rather just play that. And maybe now that people have gone home and it's just Laura and I, maybe we'll give it some more love. But as it stands, it was kind of a meh. But we'll play more.
Okay.
I also opened up another Christmas gift, and I took this one to Vegas, so I was playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the 3DS for quite a while. I think I clocked in like 7 or 8 hours as we were there. And that game's pretty cool. I'm not really sure right now if I want to go into that, because it's going to require a lot of time. So... We'll see, but I liked it. Have you guys played Monster Hunter before?
I played the demo on the Wii U, and I just remember walking around and hitting a monster till I died, and I didn't get it at all.
Yeah. One of my cousins and 2 of my coworkers really, really like the game, and I mean, I could see why you'd like it, but I don't think that's my type of RPG per se, because it's just so much, I don't know, so much work. Like, it's still fun, but I guess I want to be rewarded a bit more for each of my actions and not just have small gains. I want something massive. So, we'll see. But on the other token, I played the Bravely Default demo.
So did I.
And Yeah, that game is
man,
awesome.
it's so good.
I am really, really liking it. What do you think about it, Matt?
Well, I haven't played a ton of it, but it looks great on the 3DS.
Yes.
That was basically the first thing I noticed, was that it's really striking. And 3D looks really well as well. Although I don't know if I'd leave it on like I do with any other 3DS game. But yeah, the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that the battle system looks a little odd, with all 4 of your characters all huddled up on one side, and then the enemy sort of like a foot and a half away from you on the other side of the screen.
Matt, it's a throwback.
No, I know. But I don't know. I guess I'm used to the sort of Final Fantasy-ish fight styles.
I think I'm used to the older Final Fantasy play style, which is pretty much what this is, quite literally what it's going for. And I think it's awesome. And I like the battle systems and how you can use extra turns and save turns and whatnot. That's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how it goes. And I really hope the game takes off when it releases, because they incorporated Street Pass pretty interestingly, in that I think the more people you tag that play the game, the faster your city expands.
Oh, really?
So if you have more people that are there, you can more quickly make better item shops that get more items, and you can get the better spells. You can get better ends. Things cost less money.
That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool. It's kind of the reason why I like the new Street Pass games in general, is that it is making me want to take my 3DS with me, and it's pretty ingenious. So I think that's a cool incentive. But I would recommend it. This is the first real demo that I've actually been like, oh man, this demo's awesome. So I've been playing it quite a lot. Kind of in between Monster Hunter breaks, I'm playing Bravely Default.
Another cool thing they implemented as well is when you play the demo, things you gain in the demo you can actually take forward and put in the game when you buy it.
Yeah, it also said when it started that the demo is an exclusive story, so it's not even in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So another reason to play. But I would like, to see that game. The full game is going to be awesome.
I think with having played Pokemon and Ni no Kuni recently, I'm probably a little more open to JRPGs, and this one has been one I've been looking into potentially jumping in as well. I haven't played the demo yet, but based on your expert opinions, I think I'm going to have to get on that as well.
Yeah. The full game's only 3 weeks away, so it's not too much longer, but you can play it now. Why not? Get it.
All right. So, I think we should wrap things up here, unless, Jason, you've got any other games you want to talk about?
No, not really. I'm good.
All right, then you should plug some things.
Oh no, I didn't update this part. No. So, kind of echoing what we talked about today, I have my CES piece written on Slick Gaming, so you can check that out if you didn't catch anything here. And then I'm still doing a lot of work with video stuff, so I'm trying to capture more of older Wii games, things like that. So just working, and stuff's coming out steadily. So
okay, you pick up that Elgato yet?
No, but after the last recording, I looked it up online, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta save for this. It looks really nice, so we'll see. Maybe a future Christmas gift.
All right. For me, I've got some Let's Plays, so I'm doing some video stuff as well. My Jet Plays for NES Remix is on splitkick.com. I recently put one out for Mega Man 2, where I don't play as well as I normally do with Mega Man 2,
Still
but that's okay. I got through the 3 bosses that I played. I'm going to be doing some more video stuff as well. I recorded something for Street Fighter that's kind of embarrassing, but I think I will put it up there for the lulz. And I think I'm going to try and do, at some point, Ni no Kuni and Super Mario 3D World. So there's that. And how about you, Matt?
I've got an AC4 review going up. Well, yeah, a review for that going up on Big Bang Pop. And then hopefully before the next Bosscast, if your recommendation is correct, I will hopefully have beaten Tomb Raider, so that'll probably go up as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sweet. Don't forget to listen to our good friends over at Short Attention Gamer. Also, check out Splitkick Midnight News on the website. Jim's been playing and uploading a whole bunch of stuff. And if you want to contact us about CES and Virtual Boy stories and other stuff, email us at bosscast@splitkick.com so you can subscribe to us on iTunes and on Twitter at Matty Lang, at Jay Jasicki, at Jetlandicho, and at SplitKickCom. So until next time, hopefully you do not have a red future.